Stay tuned for your weekly news review on STVS.
Welcome to your news review in English. I'm your presenter, Dakota Simpson. The discussion about whether or not to commemorate the history of slavery is currently more topical than ever. During a discussion evening on Thursday, May 30, there was a lot of debating on this subject. The panel consisted of Iwan Wayne Garda, Armand Zunda, Raquel Van de Koya, Leo Tomang, Edwin Marshall, and Serena Holland. The panel members substantiated their views during discussion as to why the history of slavery should be commemorated or not. STVS spoke with Armand Zunda and Raquel Van de Koya about the matter. It was previously mentioned that the Netherlands should offer an apology for slavery. About this matter, the two panel members agree. The purpose of this debate, however, was to facilitate a more thoughtful opinion on the issue by both the panel and the public. The event was organized by the Slavery Online Suriname and the Commission Commemoration Anniversary Year. And in other news, it is reported that it is a huge challenge to provide assistance to students who are in trance. On Thursday, May 30, there was a symposium entitled Trance at School with the theme, How are we to understand this phenomena and what help and refuge can be given? Teachers and parents are also wondering if they are also in danger of falling into a state of altered consciousness. The education boards, teachers, and school principals are responsible for a healthy working and learning environment at school. When students fall in trance, the school atmosphere is disrupted and there are other consequences. All members of society have a duty to find a solution to this phenomenon. The symposium was the first of two under coordination of the Ministries of Education and Internal Affairs. Financial reports show that the Cooperative Credit Association of Trinidad and Tobago held a regional leadership conference for the first time in Suriname. On Friday, May 31, the president of the association, Joseph Remy, opened the conference where he used Suriname as an example of cooperative banking. The theme of the conference was Cooperative Business Model, Lessons for National Development. Rakesh Hadin, head of the research department of the Central Bank of Suriname, CBVS, opened the meeting on behalf of the governor. Adin says that the CBVS also deals with the financial education of not only the middle and large companies, but also the citizens. This conference was closed on Saturday, June 1. Further news reports show that the Grote Staatskerk of the Evangelical Community in Suriname, EBGS, at the Steenbakkerijstraat commemorated its 235th anniversary on Friday, May 31st. On that day, the church bells were tolled at 6 in the morning, after which a morning blessing service was held, followed by an evening mass. The value of the church is not to be underestimated. History records show that on July 1, 1863, approximately 150 years ago, the Emancipation Service was held in this church, where the freed slaves thanked God for their freedom. It is the oldest and largest church building of the EBGS, not only for the evangelical community, but for Suriname as well, hence it is a national monument. The church was spared from destruction over the centuries. For example, during the Great Fire in 1821, which devastated 400 buildings in the downtown area, the flames stopped at the building just across the church. Several speakers had a word for the evening. President Desiree Botesa and Vice President Robert Amarali were present at the special service with their entourage. And in other news, it is reported that after a period of almost 40 years, the water boards of the Europolder North and the Quarantine Polder are reinstated. With the reordering of both the wet and dry areas in this production infrastructure, which is more than 3,000 hectares large, the government has ensured that the production conditions in these polders are optimal again. Work was done by Aisha Suriname for an amount of almost 7 million SRDs, with a maintenance period of 6 months and 1 year, respectively. The management of this project was done by NV Syntec, who also performed the preliminary study for the project. The Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries, LVV, has spent more than 53 million SRDs on projects only in the district of Nikeri since the year 2010. Despite these efforts, the Minister of LVV, Hedrick Sitroijoyo, noted that due to the carelessness of the farmers, the roads are damaged. The Minister said this on Friday, May 31st, at the compound of the Adron. Despite these efforts, the Minister of LVV, Hedrick Sitroijoyo, noted that due to the carelessness of the farmers, the roads are damaged. The Minister said this on Friday, May 31st, at the compound of the Adron during the first technical delivery of the acceptance of the reinstated water boards. Mr. Sitroijoyo also expressed the intention of the ministry to guarantee the sowing of 30,000 hectares of paddy this season. With the improvements of the production facilities in Wageningen, which is planned for this year, the paddy rice price should also be affected. In the context of more investment in the sector, the Minister expressed hope that within a year, a good seed will be introduced by the company Adron. The chaotic situation on the waterfront at historic Ferry Square must stop. This says Felicie Pinas, Minister of Transport, Communication and Tourism, TCT. Taxi drivers who maintain the route Paramaribo, Mungo, Albina have their stands at the old Ferry Square on the waterfront. With the introduction of the taxi law, there will be some rural planning in the taxi branch. The organization of public transport applies not only to buses, but also to the taxi sector, says Mr. Pinas. The organization of this sector is a priority for the government. There is a taxi bill ready at the cabinet. The ministry is currently working to provide permits to bus owners who can transport passengers safer and cheaper, the TCT minister revealed. The Ministry of TCT and that of Public Works are looking for a suitable location for taxi drivers who park on the waterside. And in other news, it is reported that during the UNISOR meeting, President Desiree Botissa complimented the member countries for their collective awareness in order to hold a joint meeting on natural resources and the integral development of the region. By holding this meeting, an interpretation is given to the mandates of the previous UNISOR meeting in the Peruvian capital, Lima. This theme fits entirely within the aim of the optimal use of common potential of the resources. The President stressed that some of the objectives and institutions require joint effort. Other news reports show that the fire brigade, KBS, wants to encourage firefightership within the youth in Suriname. That is why the KBS last Monday contributed to the after-school care project of the Ministry of Education. The firefighters of the stations Tukumstoek, the headquarters Knuffelskraat, and Geersvleet visited different after-school care centers. The program of the fire department during the visits consisted of the introduction to the firefighting vehicle, the toolkit, community safety and youth fire brigade Suriname. A primary school teacher was happy with the visit of the fire brigade. These activities of the fire department will also be expanded to the districts. Meanwhile, the staff at the outposts will be trained so they can also contribute to the after-school care. Currently, the KBS is preparing the program for the after-school care to proceed smoothly and effectively. President Desiree Botissa returned on Sunday evening from Trinidad and Tobago, where he met the Chinese President Xi Jinping. The Chinese president had several meetings with various government leaders in Trinidad. The interpreter of the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, said on behalf of the president that they want to maintain the relationship with Suriname. The Chinese president is on a state-to-state visit to some countries in the Caribbean, Central America, and the USA. Final reports show that most persons who took part in the different activities last Wednesday strived for the Surinamese people to actually think of nation building themselves. From the reactions, it was clear that the bundling of the different population groups has not yet sufficiently taken place. The commemoration of 140 years Hindustani immigration in Suriname again was a moment of reflection with the focus on nation building, preservation, and appreciation of tradition and culture, and for the further development of Suriname. STVS visited some locations where activities were held specially related to the commemoration. Around 10 o'clock in the morning, people in cultural clothing took to the statue of Baba and Mai. On special days, such as June 5, it is usual that the ancestors of Hindu origin are commemorated. Apart from the heroes, there are also other historical events. In the center of Paramaribo, 3 special places were visited where good and less good memories came up. The positive points, which were cited by many descendants of the first Indian indentured laborers, in one word reflected the positive developments with their existence in Suriname. But the practical situation tells a different story. Different in the sense that much work is still to be done, as in the aspect of nation building. From different cultural organizations, the aim is that the melting of all population groups in Suriname will take place in an adequate manner. And that's not all too easy, according to many. Despite the rain and heavy traffic in Paramaribo, the activities continued. The fair at the Flamboyant Park, a parade, musical performances, speeches, and the planting of a neem tree next to the statue of Baba and Mai were the most important and busy activities for this year. In many households, the Indian culinary delights such as the roti and bara have been dominant. Thank you for watching. For further information, you may visit our website at www.scvs.sr. I'm your presenter, Dakota Simpson.